Is fear currently dominating your life? Is it paralyzing you? Is it holding you back and preventing you from doing the very things that you really desire, the things that you know you need to be doing and you really would love to do? But for some reason, fear has just bundled you up and has prevented you from taking the action that you know is necessary for your advancement. And maybe it's also getting to the place where you are afraid of the unknown, you're afraid of maybe failure, you're afraid of making mistakes, that you don't do anything, that you are so anxious that perhaps you are not able to even eat or you cannot even sleep because again, you're afraid. And that feeling of fear just entangles you and it's almost like strangling you. If that's where you are right now, I just want you to know that I understand how that feels. Because I remember for a very long period of time, fear literally was, I would say, like my master. I was enslaved by fear. I was paralyzed by fear. I was always doing fear's bidding. And I was almost always accepting the vision and that the fear, the vision and the lie that fear was presenting to me. And that always put me in a place of anxiety, in a place where I think at some point, literally, I just couldn't sleep. I was facing severe panic attacks and I would jump up, jack up at the middle of the night, all sweaty palms and just sweating. Because again, I was terrified by fear. Fear had a huge grip on my life. And obviously, in some other areas, things may have been going okay, but I just had this stronghold of fear. And it got to a point where I just told myself, I'm sick and tired, that I'm just like, I'm tired, you know? I don't want fear to continue to dominate my life. I don't want fear to continue to have the final say, to decide whether or not I take action. And so I had to learn to manage that feeling because fear is a feeling of fear. And I know I've had opportunity to really just encourage people. So if you are in that same place now and you're really just say tired of being dominated by your fears, I want to share with you 3 different actions that helped me a lot to overcome that phase or that stage. And I'm hoping that when you apply them as well, you will see similar results. The first thing literally is to make the decision that I would not allow fear continue to dominate my life. I think I got to the place where I was just like literally sick and tired. And I think it's a place where you also want to get to, like you're just sick and tired of having fear dominate your life. Making that decision, I think it's going to be the first step to letting the grip of fear lose its power over your life. And the second thing is to really redefine your relationship with fear. There are 3 different ways that we relate to fear. And the 3 ways I can liken them to an acronym. The first one, false evidence appearing real. That's the place where we are afraid of the unknown. And because we're afraid of the unknown, we don't take action. Because we're afraid of the unknown, we are just strangled and we live in a place of constant anxiety. The second one is forget everything and run. So literally fear is chasing you down with its whip. It's chasing you down with its weapon and preventing you from taking the action that you want. And obviously those are like victim mindsets and victim relationship with fear. But the final one is face everything and rise. That's the one that encapsulates the victor mindset. So that's the mindset that I believe we want to have when we're thinking about fear. And I think it's the right relationship we want to have with fear. We feel the fear, but we do it anyway because we believe that fear doesn't have its power, its grip over us, and it doesn't dominate our life. So redefine your relationship with fear. Pick the last one, which is face everything and rise. Face everything and rise. That is the definition of courage. We feel the fear, but we still do it anyway. The final point is to affirm your victory over fear. And one of the ways that I got to do this was to literally go to scriptures and look for what the Bible says about fear. Number one, there's so many different ones. One of them that is very popular is God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. And also a number of other scriptures that speaks about God being with us. If God be for us, who can be against us? And then so many different scriptures that talks about how God is encouraging us to not be afraid. Deuteronomy 31 verse 6 and 8, saying that God is has gone ahead of us. He said he will never leave us nor forsake us. So all of those things that we're afraid of, they're just in our head most of the time. But when we literally start affirming what Bible says about us and reminding ourselves of how we are more than conquerors through Christ, so we literally place our faith on we place our faith on the word and the promises of God and not focus on fear. I believe that with these three actions, when you take them and you stick to them for a long period of time, you would begin to see fear lose its grip over you. And whenever you feel that feeling of fear that says, don't do it, you tell the you tell the fear that you're going to do it because God is with you and God is for you. And if God be for you, who can be against you? Nobody, nothing, not even the fear. So fear is a feeling. Let us not continue to let fear dominate our lives. In 2025, let us let fear know who the boss is, that we are the boss over fear. And fear is not meant to rule over us. We are meant to be the ones to rule over and dominate that feeling of fear. I believe that when we do it and we step out in 2025, we're going to begin to make significant and massive action in the direction of the dreams and the goals that God has put inside our hearts. We are going to be victorious. We are going to be more powerful, more confident, more bold when we take those actions in spite of what the fear is saying. So I just want to encourage you with these words. Let us step out and let us exercise our victory over fear. Fear is not meant to rule over us. All right. I hope this encourages someone today. Happy Sunday. And I hope you have an amazing and a powerful, fear-free week ahead. And don't forget that you're more than enough. You're worthy. You're deserving. You're loved. Peace. God bless.